joined live from our Lagos studio by Chief Dele Momodu, Nigerian politician and ADC chieftain, media entrepreneur, and publisher of Ovation International magazine. He's a former presidential spokesperson of the Article campaign organization in the 2023 election. This is an old world in Nigeria's politics, the political encyclopedia, if you're convenient saying that, if you feel comfortable saying that, and an influential figure in both the media and political circle. What a delight joining us from the Lagos studio, Chief Dele Momodu.
Good morning, and how are you today?
Okay, we have a situation where I think the political landscape has set up the ADC and many of the opposition party on an unexpected hurdle that has plunged you guys in a very deep uncertainty, even ahead of your April 14 National Convention. So how do you respond to this in light with the last week's INEC pronouncement distancing itself from recognizing both the Nafiu Bala faction and the David Mark faction of the ADC?
The hurdle was not unexpected. If you had followed the trajectory, the political trajectory, since this administration came to power, you know that from day one, this administration demonstrated clearly that it did not want any opposition. It started fighting for the next election, and they were able to install their enablers, their enforcers, who would do the dirty jobs for them. So when ADC came into being last year, we could feel immediately that some people rushed to court. I remember speaking to a dear friend of mine who is like a brother, Dumebi Kachiku. I actually went to his office in Abuja to speak to him, that Dumebi, I hear you are fighting this new coalition. And then we had a heart-to-heart talk. And I reminded him, I said, please, don't let anyone use you to scatter this democracy. I gave the example of Chief Francis Arthur
Chief Dele Momodu, can we get some clarification in your quickness to accuse the APC-led government of being complicit in the quagmire that the ADC and other opposition parties currently facing? May I ask, was it the APC that offered you the choice of ADC when you knew that the party was enmeshed in lots of litigation? Was it the APC that that brought your party into this legal controversy, that it jumped from the Federal High Court without exhausting the legal leave to the Court of Appeal that sends you back to the situation of status antebellum? So we need to get clarification on this.
Please, no, please, you are expressing an opinion that is absolutely false. So do not help APC to propagate their usual propaganda. So that is why I was giving you a scenario. I'm a good student of political history, and I'm also a student of literature, where I was taught what is called the, sociological approach to issues. You must know the background. So don't let's just go there. It's not APC. There was no quarrel. I was there at the Yaradua Center in Abuja. There was none. Everybody embraced, including those who are denying, that they were a part of it. That's why I'm giving you the background, that I knew that the first person to appear on the scene was Dumebi, and I went to Dumebi's office because it's my friend and brother, trying to appeal to him that don't let anybody use you like they used Ato Inveribe, like they used Otumba Abimbola Davis to try and scuttle June 12. There is a background to this. This is not the first time. Okay, so all this, it was not APC that, look, that is why Nigeria will not make progress, because we try to hide behind one finger. I love that saying from Chief MK Wabiola. The truth of the matter is that they left ADC to carry on with its activities in the hope that Peter Obi, Atiku Abubakar, Kwankwaso, Rotimi Amechi, Tambua, and all of them will never be able to work together. It was a miscalculation. That's number one. The second miscalculation was that the APC, in its, how would I describe that? In its arrogance of power, tried to cause chaos in all the major opposition parties. So Wike took over PDP. The speed at which INEC approved the Wike-led faction of PDP will tell you something. Speed. The so-called electronic, election, that on the day of election, we should be able to activate our technology. The speed at which they shut it down knew that these people had a different plan. And the speed at which the president signed the new electoral bill into law, you will know there was more than meets the eye. So where I'm going, sir, is that it's unfortunate that today all you need to kill a party is for one disgruntled person to just go to court and say there is a faction and they will shoot you down.
Meeting that the PDP is dead. Is that an admittance that the PDP is dead? That the ADC, pardon me,
the PDP,
is dead. Because you said that all you need for someone to kill a party was for a disgruntled person to challenge.
Yes, once you cause confusion within a party, they will tell you there is a faction. And now it is the duty and business of lawyers to start arguing forever. The Wike-led PDP is alive, courtesy of the federal might. There is no other way that Wike, a man who openly did anti-party, openly, and said, I already have my candidate in advance. And then you will tell me, oh, the court said they are right and the other people are wrong. Please, my mission is to appeal to President TInubu, because most leaders, when they are in power, no one tells them the truth. People tell them all is well. Oh, you are a master strategist. But we must remember our contemporary history. It is not too ancient. 1993 is just behind us. And at the rate we are going, we will soon be back to the Nadeko days. I guarantee you that. Because the second mistake they made, as I was saying earlier on, was for them to scatter all the parties and then left ADC maybe temporarily. So by leaving ADC temporarily, they just suddenly realized that the exodus from the other parties are heading in the direction of ADC. So because they thought ADC can never be cohesive, so, but the moment Dr. Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso see the multitude of crowd, look, between last week and today, over 500,000 new people have registered in ADC. Despite the fact that INEC says we don't recognize David Mark, we don't recognize Ogbeni Aregbesola, it tells you something, that a very quiet, peaceful revolution is brewing in Nigeria. And if it is mismanaged, then we will go back to the days of June 12, 1993.
In light of everything that has been going on these past days, last week to be more specific, analysts are saying that courtrooms seem to be now the ones deciding elections more than voters. What is your comment on this?
Well, that's why you could see very openly that top government functionaries are investing heavily in the judiciary. It's part of the strategy. Look, when you weaponize poverty, what do you expect to happen? So people are poor, people are broke. You see people, some are doing, village boys, some are doing city boys. Rice is being distributed left, right, and center without stew, without soup. That's what they have reduced Nigerians to. That just give them rice, their heads will be correct. It's unfortunate. I expected that if Asiwaju will not protect anything else, it will at least protect our democracy. So because we went through this route before, and we knew what we suffered, both at home and in exile. So it's frustrating, it is embarrassing, it is scandalous that we want to reduce Nigeria to a one-party state or a one-man rule. No. It may take a while, but it won't work, I tell you. Even some of the people who are doing these, things on their behalf, when you meet them behind the scene, they say, we cannot talk, we're sorry. And I keep saying this to Asiwaju because I know one day he will realize that a lot of people have misinformed him about the state of affairs in Nigeria. People are suffering, and all you are interested in is to be distributing rice. It's rice.
We need to get your buy-in on this. Chief Dele Momodu. Last week, till now, your party is calling for the resignation of INEC leadership. So where would you specifically say INEC faltered on this? Because this Nafiu Bala Gombe faction submitted a notice to INEC calling for a restraint of INEC in recognizing the leadership of Senator David Mark. Likewise, Senator David Mark also filed a notice to INEC. And when you look at the Court of Appeal judgment referring the case to status antebellum, which means the state of affairs before the conflict. So how would you hold INEC responsible for the decision not to recognize both factions?
INEC faltered by becoming the judge in the case. INEC had no business. It's an internal affair, and if INEC did not know what to do, INEC should have gone to court to find out the true interpretation.
Are you suggesting that INEC faltered
There is no
by adhering to court rulings?
No, sir. Let's not use semantics to destroy Nigeria. If it was APC that was involved, I dare you for INEC to recognize the TInubu faction of APC. We have a plethora of court cases in APC. We have disgruntled elements in APC. INEC has never deemed it fit, to interfere directly. INEC had no business in being a judge in its own cause. The lawyers call it nemo judex in causa sua. A man shall not be a judge in his own cause. INEC is supposed to be
now. But
an unbiased
may I draw your attention?
So,
please,
and if
may I kindly draw your attention,
Chief Dele Momodu,
may I kindly draw your attention to the principle of pendency when there is an ongoing, a subsisting court process? Because it seems that from all indications, that's what INEC is adhering to. The principle of pendency, which shows that there is an ongoing, a subsisting ruling in the court. Because you're bringing up legal terms now, and INEC is simply adhering to the principle of pendency.
Please. INEC is not adhering to anything. INEC is adhering to pressure from God knows where. And I'm saying it boldly on television, live. INEC is not responding to courts. Okay? INEC is responding to pressure. And it is clear. And that pressure came heavily on them after the declaration of Dr. Obi Kwankwaso. That is the thing. There is what we call cause and effect in philosophy. There was a cause, and we saw the effect. And the good thing about this era of social media is that everything is captured somewhere, and you can see how people are bringing in a deluge of documents, a deluge of pictures,
so do you now trust INEC to be neutral?
Of videos. INEC should have been neutral.
But do you trust them to be neutral ahead of 2027?
To interpret or misinterpret. In fact, they misinterpreted the court's order. The court did not say, INEC, please go back to a man who is disgruntled, a man who signed documents with his own hands, not under duress. There is no court that told INEC to do that. And I watched the body language of Professor Amupito when he was speaking to my brother, Dr. Ruben Abati. And I just shook my head. And at any rate, we all knew that politicians, since it is the responsibility of the presidency to appoint the INEC chairman, you can be sure that they will not appoint someone who will be hostile to them. That's another point that we must make. That, okay, so how did they arrive at this man? So what was special about him? What did they promise him? What did he promise them? I watched him. And I did a little bit of psychology. So it was obvious to me that the man was under pressure. A lot of pressure. And if you want to know the mindset of this government, all you have to do is to watch one of the Wike interviews. Because Wike is a man who will not like to hide where he belongs, and the role he's playing, he likes to take his own credit. So he will not wait for you to give him the credit. And you can see, anytime he talks, don't worry, we're going to court, we're going to do this thing, they're going to shoot this down. He even said INEC should have recognized the guy. So if INEC was so certain
said that the legal battles
and others were not supposed to be in party, then why didn't he then put in, so why didn't he then put in the man?
If only you had not taken things with too much levity. Must it be ADC?
You are giving have opinion of the
some other political parties
ask your
that
questions.
You could have joined that is not immersed deeply
in fact, now Benga, you are behaving like INEC now by giving opinion.
Amazing.
That you should not give.
I'm asking
you should ask questions, and when you ask the questions, I will respond.
Go ahead, Chief Dele Momodu.
You are saying we should have done this, we should have done that. Yeah, I'm telling you that. So please don't behave like INEC by pushing answers into my mouth. No. Okay? It's just an advice. You don't have to take it. It's an advice. You are asking me a question, and I'm enjoying your questions and I'm responding to it. So yours is, if there are follow-up questions, then I will be grateful for it. But for you to insist that ADC made a mistake, that is why Nigeria is where it is now. Because we defend government blindly. A lot of people just defend whatever government gives them, they gobble it up. No. It's unacceptable.
All right. Now, if the opposition fails to unite, do you think that the race is somewhat over?
How can opposition fail to unite? The man who came second in the last election, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, is in the coalition. Have you heard him complain about coalition? The man who came third, according to INEC and the Supreme Court, former Governor Peter Obi is in the coalition. The man who came second after TInubu in the APC primary, Chibuike Rotimi Amechi, is in the coalition. Okay? The man who came fourth in the last election, Dr. Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, is in the coalition. Okay? The former governor of Sokoto, Aminu Tambuwa, is in the coalition. Mr. Lia Elimoke, okay, is in the coalition. All these great people, Ogbeni, Rauf Aregbesola, is in the coalition. Has any of them gone to court to go and fight? But they got a weak point, picked on the weak point, and he has brought the roof down. That is it. And it's very clear what is going on. You see, the ruling government inadvertently, or maybe it was even advertent, went all out to destroy all opposition parties. So what then happened was that people who ordinarily would not sit in the same room then realized that the enemy of my enemy is my friend, so they all went. So right now, there is an alternative. Whether TInubu likes it or not, he didn't plan for that alternative, but that alternative was forced on Nigeria. And that's why, in defiance, people are now registering in ADC that whether you recognize ADC or not, we will continue with our processes because we will not allow you to distract us, we will not allow you to slow us down until victory is achieved. And I guarantee that there is nothing they can do about it. Nigeria will not be a one-party state. Nigeria will not be a one-man rule.